Good morning, everyone. In this video, we are going to be going over what I eat in an entire day, starting with breakfast. So this is a pretty standard breakfast for me. 3 Kodiak pancakes, 2 slices of bacon, 100 grams of berries, usually half blackberries, half raspberries, and a glass of chocolate milk mixed with fat-free. So this is 1 cup of chocolate, 1 cup of fat-free. I don't always do the bacon because the bacon takes the longest to cook. These Kodiak pancakes are 2 ingredients. It's the pancake mix and some water, or you can use milk, which is what I do. And they probably take about 6 or 7 minutes to cook. So it's very fast, a ton of calories to get my day started, and really delicious. Okay, so as you can see, that didn't take me that long to eat, and for me, I like to have a big breakfast. Just kind of keeps me satisfied through most of the day, because I won't eat lunch till probably about 2 o'clock. So the pancakes, I use sometimes the Kodiak buttermilk and sometimes the dark chocolate. I don't think the dark chocolate really needs anything as far as butter or maple syrup. It's pretty sweet on its own. You can cook it so it's a little bit gooey and it kind of becomes like a giant chocolate chip cookie. The macros between the dark chocolate and the buttermilk I think are very similar. The berries, because the fiber, there's about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 grams of carbs in the berries, but there's also about 7 or 8 grams of fiber. So it's a good way to get started on my fiber goal for the day. The milk is just for some extra protein, and the bacon obviously has some fat in it, but also some extra protein. I don't always do the bacon, but there's really not that many calories in a couple slices of bacon, so it's not going to make or break my day. So if I have it, I can adjust later, and if I don't have it, I can adjust later as well. So that was meal 1, and we'll see you in a little bit for meal number 2. Okay, so I'm gonna pack a quick snack for myself for work. Use a scale, put the container on, zero it out, and then I'm gonna weigh out a serving size of these low-fat wheat thins, which is 30 grams. Perfect, right on the dot. A lot of people say, it takes too long to weigh things. I mean, you're gonna put the crackers in a container to take them with you anyway. Just put the container on the scale, zero it out, and then add the stuff in there. It really takes no extra time. Also gonna do some cheese. So I've got these Cabot slices. You could weigh it, I'm not going to, just because a serving size is 4 slices, and so it's kind of easy to just count out. And they're all pretty standard. Next, I'm gonna do a protein shake to bring to work with me. Right now I'm using Dymatize. I usually use Transparent Labs, which is what we carry at the gym, but a lot of times we're out of chocolate, which is the flavor I like because our clients are buying it. So I'll just have something like this laying around. Takes a long time for protein to go bad, so you can have a tub sitting around for a while. Little container there, just screws into the bottom. I'll just mix that with water later on. And this will be my snack while I'm at work. Okay, just got back from walking the dog. Time for lunch. Let's see what's in the fridge. Lunch is probably my most variable meal. I do usually eat lunch at home, which is nice. If I didn't, I would simply just make something and bring it with me to work. But middle of the day is slow for gyms, so I'm not usually actually there. Let's see, I got a frozen pizza. That's not gonna fit today, I know that. There's just a lot in there. And yes, I'm gonna eat the whole thing at once. So I'm probably gonna have some broccoli with my lunch, no matter what I decide to have. I love these frozen ones. They heat up really quick. And some people would say, oh, you know, frozen vegetables aren't as good as fresh. Maybe. but it's probably better to eat some vegetables, even if they're not fresh, than eating none at all. So I'm gonna do the frozen ones. And so we got some steak. Weigh the steak. That single piece is 4 ounces. Yeah, it's getting to the end of this. All right, so that's 11, just about 11 ounces exactly. I'm gonna cook all of this. I don't know if I'm gonna eat all of it, but cook some of it up and see how hungry I am. So I usually do my steak in a cast iron skillet. I will use a little bit of cooking spray to keep it from sticking. You're not actually supposed to do that in cast iron. You know, preferably you'd use oil, like olive oil, or maybe some butter, but I'm trying to save on calories, so this will just coat it without being super calorie dense. I like to pre-season the pan before I put the steak in there. This is some really good umami seasoning that tastes awesome, smells really good. Put some of that in there. Also some camp mix. This is one of my favorite seasonings. You can see I'm getting pretty low on it. And some restaurant style black pepper. And we'll let that heat up and then we'll throw the steaks in. Okay, so here's my lunch. Got about 160 grams of broccoli. I'm only gonna eat 2 of those pieces that I weighed, so I'll re-weigh the piece that's left over and subtract that from the 11 ounces. Something to keep in mind is when you cook meat, it loses about 25% of its weight. So I'll weigh that, divide by 0.75 to get its original weight, and then subtract that from the total. And I'm gonna have this sparkling ice with the lunch. These are a 0-calorie flavored seltzer water, and these are really good to satisfy you again when you're having a sweet tooth, or just kind of mix it up if you're tired of drinking just straight water and you want something with a little flavor. This is a nice no-calorie option. So yeah, big lunch, and I was gonna eat actually all the steak, but it was gonna leave me with not enough protein for the rest of the day, and I don't want to go over. And I know that I'm going to be having scallops for dinner, so I had to dial back my serving size of lunch here. So I'm going to eat this and we'll move on to the next meal. These Kodiak bear bites. There's a couple different flavors. There's chocolate, there's cinnamon, there's honey. I really like the honey the best, actually, out of those. But the cinnamon's also good. I mean, the chocolate's good too. So these are kind of like Kodiak's version of Teddy Grahams, and they've got good macros. I mean, probably better than Teddy Grahams. I'm not sure what Teddy Grahams macros are, but a serving of these has 3.5 grams of fat, 18 carbs, and 5 protein. So, you know, not amazing macros, but for a snack, pretty good. So I'm gonna have a serving of this. And I hope you guys notice that, yep, I do weigh everything. All right, there's a serving, which is 30 grams. And I'll be having scallops for dinner. I think we're gonna have sweet potatoes on the side, but even with that, I'll still be behind on my carbs. So this is gonna help me get a little more caught up. Okay, so it's dinner time. I'm having about 7 ounces of scallops and 200 grams of white sweet potato. As far as I know, the macros on a white sweet potato and a regular sweet potato are the same. I think just the texture and the flavor is a little bit different. The scallops are cooked in some olive oil, so I've tracked that. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to have a good amount of food to eat after this. I tracked this meal already, and it looks like I have no protein left after this, and about 55 carbs, and maybe 12.5 fats. So here we go. Okay, so this is going to be the last thing that I'll eat today, which is a pretty normal sized kiwi. And I'm actually not going to hit my macros today. I've gone over my protein by 13 grams, and I have about 45 grams of carbs left over. But as you probably know, I use Avatar Nutrition, and Avatar really encourages weekly compliance over daily compliance. And they have a great feature called moving targets. So if you go over your macros today, it'll deduct from your macros tomorrow or over the next few days, depending on how you have the settings for your moving targets set. And conversely, because I haven't hit my macros for my carbs today, those will actually get rolled over to tomorrow, which will be perfect because we have these awesome frozen pizzas from American Flatbread Company that I really wanted to eat today, but I couldn't make it fit. So with the extra carbs rolled over to tomorrow, I could probably make that work for me. So anyway, this will be the last bit for me. So I have ended up with 197 protein for the day, 190 carbs, and 74 grams of fat, as well as 28 grams of fiber. And right now I'm on about 8,600 steps. I'll get 10,000 by the end of the day. I did not train today. Today was a non-training day for me. So that is a whole day of eating for me. This is more or less how I ate the entire time I was dieting down from 315 pounds. The lightest I got was 250, and I had to have another procedure, unfortunately. Since that procedure, I gained about 10 to 12 pounds back, and now I'm dieting back down again. Total calories are right around 2,400. I could probably eat more if I didn't have as many restrictions on my training, because I can't do a lot of the really important best bang for your buck movements in the gym, like bench press, overhead press, pull-ups, deadlifts, that kind of thing. So the more serious you take your training, the more calories you're going to be able to eat, not just because you're burning more calories during your workout, but strength training has a great effect on your resting metabolism throughout the day. Makes your muscles make your body more insulin sensitive, which is really good for fat loss. Boosts your testosterone, which is great for fat loss. So definitely recommend to do some lifting if you're trying to burn fat. So hopefully this gives everyone some ideas on what to eat. For the women that are watching, your calories might not be as high as mine. I'm a heavy guy, so the more you weigh, the more calories you're going to get. But we did do a video a few months ago with Katie showing kind of an average day for her. And of course, there's a lot of different things you could swap in and out. I had scallops for dinner. I could have had chicken breast. The macros would have been very similar. I had steak for lunch. I could have had pork. I could have had hamburger. I could have had chicken then and just added more fat in some other way. But yeah, if it has calories, track it. I highly encourage weighing everything. As you saw today, wasn't really that big of a deal. Didn't take a whole lot of time. Big fan of the Kodiak products. They have great macros and make life really easy, and they taste good. So I hope that everyone watching got something out of this. And if you have any questions, just drop us a comment and we'll help you out. See everyone soon.